We know that Andy Burnham is basically a Zionist, and he's already planning to go to Israel and kiss the wall. So this is going to be really bad news for Britain, especially for all of the pro-Palestinian people in UK, which is a lot of them. And what's worse, Trump is also pressurizing him to join the war against Iran as well. And I believe he might do that. And I believe he might do that because something happened yesterday which makes me think that they made some sort of deal behind the scenes. Do you know what deal it was? I'll tell you. Basically, they arrested Andrew Tate and his brother in Miami. And Britain has been after Andrew Tate and his brother for a long time. And they've been asking for extradition. So when they were living in Romania, they failed with the extradition from Romania. And people don't realize this, but Andrew Tate is also an American. He's an American citizen. So the fact that Andrew Tate got arrested in Miami in America and looks like they will be extradited to UK, looks like they did some sort of deal behind the scenes between Trump and Andy Burnham. And I think Trump has said that, look, we'll give you Andrew Tate, we'll give you his brother. In return, you have to help us with Iran. I think that's the deal that they made. Because there cannot be any other deal. And I think already Andy Burnham is going to be selling out the UK. I hope this isn't the case, but I got a very strong feeling it is. He's also been saying a lot of nice things about Israel as well, so you can guarantee UK will help Israel commit its G-side as well. So really sad days for UK at the moment, guys. Really sad days. He's also talking about increasing the military budget for UK and all sorts of stuff, guys. All sorts of stuff. He's still going to support the war in Ukraine as well. He's going to visit Zelensky like they always do. It really doesn't matter whether you're one prime minister or another in UK. You're all pretty much puppets. Every single prime minister in UK are puppets. They do one of three things. They go to Ukraine, start hugging Zelensky, offering him money. They go to Israel, kiss the wall. Well, they haven't really gone to Israel, kiss the wall, but they all love Israel. And same thing, they all adore America. They will stand by America, whatever America does, and they'll stand by Israel. These are all controlled puppets, guys. It doesn't matter who's in charge. There's somebody else pulling the strings. So let me show you the rubbish in UK. As you can see, guys, I'm still on the same street from the other day, and I thought I'd come in and give you a quick update. And I'm on the same spot, and you can see all the rubbish just people just dump. Look at this. This is on the main street. People just dump rubbish wherever they can. I really hope Andy Burnham fixes this problem. It's, you know, UK is now becoming like a third world. And it's just disgusting, guys. Absolutely disgusting. I'll keep coming back here every few weeks and I'll keep taking videos because this is unacceptable. This is like, this terrible, guys. Absolutely terrible. Now let's move on to Iran. So I saw this interesting article in talking about Iran, and I just thought I'd share it with you. And in this article is talking about how Iran is outsmarting the United States. and they are outsmarting them in many ways. For example, when the Iran war first started, there was American bases everywhere around Iran, in Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, in Saudi, Kuwait, and what they wanted to do was destroy all of Iran's capabilities, all of its missiles, nuclear sites, navy, airplanes and everything. And that's what they did. They went on a very, aggressive, campaign. And part of the aggressive campaign, they killed a lot of civilians, including schoolgirls. Unfortunately for them, Iran fought back. Iran is not Venezuela or, other poor countries that America loves to attack. And they hit back in these particular bases. And these bases got absolutely destroyed. And some of these radar systems in these bases got destroyed, the runways got destroyed, airplane hangars got destroyed, and early warning systems got destroyed. These equipment took decades of work with hundreds of billions of dollars that cost them over decades of work, guys. These radars, early warning systems, aircraft, all of this stuff is not cheap. They're very, very expensive. So what America had to do was move their bases further back, or move their aircraft further back. And for them to have an effective, attack on Iran, they need heavy tankers, and these heavy tankers basically give fuel to F-35s and F-16s, because they cannot fly F-35 and F-16s from nearby bases again, because they're too close to Iran to destroy. So they have to put these F-35s, F-16 further back, all the way back, near Jordan, near Israel. And they have to fly from there, and then they have to refuel mid-air using these air tankers. And that's when, they use Tomahawks to fire missiles at Iranian sites, and then they have to fly back. That's what they've been doing. But Iran has been very cleverly destroying some of these tanker aircrafts. They've been destroying runways. So what does that mean? It means that they have to go further and further back. And when America and Israel have to go further back, it's going to take them more oil to fly near Iran. It's going to cost them more. They need more tankers, and obviously these tankers have to fly from other countries in Europe, because they cannot park them anywhere near the Middle East because they're going to be destroyed. And a lot of them have been destroyed. And a few of them have been destroyed in Jordan as well. So it's getting more and more expensive for America to fight Iran, because as Iran is destroying base after base after base, destroying radars after radars, they're destroying anti-aircraft systems, Patriot missiles. They're destroying a lot. And also Iranian drones and missiles also depleting all of their anti-aircraft missiles as well, Patriots and things like that. And the problem that America has now is, if they start a full war with Iran, they don't have the advantage anymore. They had the advantage 3-4 months ago when they had all of the bases near Iran. And if they did a full-scale attack on Iran at that point, and they still failed, they are now at a much weaker position, because all of their bases have been pushed back. Do you see? All of the bases have been pushed back. They've got no radars in most of them. They've got no anti-aircraft missiles. They are in a worse position. Their strategic reserves are running out. I think Trump took more strategic reserve oil out today. They probably got maybe 4 or 5 weeks at the most. The Hormuz Strait is closed. The Bab el-Mandeb is closed by the Yemenis. So America is actually in a much, much worse position than they were, months ago. So people are asking, how the hell is Trump gonna do any sorts of ground operation? They can't. They just can't. It's impossible because no ships can go near the Hormuz Strait. How are they going to do ground operations when they're so far away? They can't get any ships close. They can't get any planes close. They're just going to be blown away. So Trump is pretty much stuck at the moment. He doesn't know what to do. And this is what this article is trying to say. It's just saying that Trump is basically he's stuck. He cannot win the war with Iran. He's already lost. He's in a worse position now than he was 3 or 4 months ago. And if he negotiates now, the United States will be in a much weaker position because they have to give more concessions. Because Iran doesn't trust the United States anymore. They don't trust the MOU. So America will have to give a lot of concessions to Iran if they want a peace deal. And this means they have to give away more money, more sanctions relief, and immediate money, immediate unfrozen assets and things like that. So we'll see what happens, but I really think that Trump's ego is too big for him to just surrender. He's going to carry on until the strategic oil reserves runs out and the oil prices start shooting up to like $200, $300 a barrel. That could happen. Anyway, let's move on. Last night, Iranians destroyed 2 oil tankers, but now I'm hearing it's 3. So 3 oil tankers. They were trying to sneak through the Oman, area. So they got blown up. US air defense system and radar destroyed in Bahrain. US Patriot missile destroyed in Al Rafah, Bahrain. A long-range radar communication center and anti-missile radar hit in Kuwait. MQ-9 hangar at Al Salim base. Several drones destroyed. So Iran is starting to really hit them where it hurts now. And this is hitting America's pockets big time. Because all of this equipment that's being destroyed is not cheap. These are millions and millions of dollars. And it's going to take them a long time to replace because they cannot get the same materials again, like rare earths, for example. So let's talk about Saudi. So Yemen has decided to block Bab el-Mandeb for Saudi ships. All other ships can go through, but no Saudi ships. So why are they targeting Saudi? Because Saudis have been blockading Yemen for over 10 years. For example, no aircraft is allowed to stop in Sana'a airport, for example. And before that, obviously, Saudi Arabia had a brutal war against Yemen, killed millions of Yemenis because of this blockade, because no food and medicine was even allowed to go into Yemen. So this caused huge famines, and a lot of people died. So now Yemen is starting to fight back, and they have now blocked the Bab el-Mandeb for Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia blockaded Yemen, and now Yemen is now blockading Saudi Arabia. It's come full circle. And if Saudi Arabia attacks Yemen, Yemen just hits all the oil facilities. And immediately Saudi stops. They don't do anything. So Saudi is pretty much stuck at the moment. It never pays to be a puppet of the United States. Never. I really hope one day the Saudi Arabians would just, stand up, have a revolution, and kick these puppet leaders off and start running a real Muslim country. Because it's just embarrassing watching these Gulf country Arabs leaders just become subservient to the United States and Israel. They are the biggest puppets the world has ever seen. What is the point of having all this money when you are just kissing Trump's ass, like Trump says? What is the point? It's better to be poor and free than to be rich and an ass kisser. Absolutely disgraceful, guys. Talking about Israel, guys, don't you find it strange that Israel forced this war between United States and Iran? So they basically pushed Trump to start a war with Iran. And in the beginning, they helped United States bomb Iran. But now they are just relaxing in Tel Aviv and letting Trump do all of the work. Have you noticed? Now, like, American soldiers are dying, and they're just watching from a distance. So they started the war between Trump and Iran. Obviously, Trump is silly enough to fall for it, so obviously that's his fault. But Israel is pretty much doing nothing and watching from a distance. Well, that's a lie, guys. I mean, they are doing something. They are dropping a lot of bombs and causing absolute destruction in Gaza at the moment. I mean, that G-side is still going on. I am seeing lots of images, really, really, really sad images of people dying in Gaza, guys. And I cannot show it on YouTube because obviously YouTube doesn't allow stuff like that, but you can imagine the kind of images that's still coming out. And the world is doing nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. The Gulf countries suddenly have, you know, they suddenly have balls when they want to fight other Muslims. They have lots of balls. But when they want to fight Israel or United States, suddenly their balls disappear. When it's against their own Muslim kind, they just, if they want to fight Yemen and stuff, they're really up for it. But they ignore what's happening in Palestine, and it's just disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. Never seen anything like it. I think Saudi Arabia King Fahd would be tossing in his grave by now. I think he was the only leader who had some balls back in the day when he did the oil embargo against the West because of Palestine. There's no Arab leader right now, Sunni leader, who's brave enough to do anything like that. Not one. Iran, Hezbollah, and the Yemenis are the only ones fighting for Palestine at the moment. When this is the time when all the Muslim countries should have just joined together. But no, the GCC countries are too busy counting their money. It's so embarrassing to watch, guys. So embarrassing to watch. And the people are just not doing anything. They're happy to do color revolutions when the West, organizes it. For example, in Egypt and Bangladesh and all these other countries. They get so easily brainwashed. But when their own leaders are so corrupt, major puppets, the people do nothing. They don't stand up. There's no color revolution. Obviously, not all Muslims are the same, guys. There's a lot of Muslims doing a lot of work. They're doing a lot of work on social media. They're doing charity work. They're going on protests. So they are doing their bit. But there's also a lot of other Muslims who are doing nothing. Doing nothing is not an option. You need to help your own brothers and sisters in Palestine, in Iran, You need to stand up against these imperialists. Because once Iran is finished, if you allow Iran to fall, that's it. They're gonna, there's gonna be the Great Israel projects. Nobody's gonna stop them. They will take over one Muslim country after the next. And then once they take over all of the Middle East, it'll be too late. That's when you'll be screaming for Iran to come back and save you. Anyway, guys, let's move on. Right, let's talk about China, guys. So the clip you see here is basically a clash between the Chinese Navy and these Filipinos who are living full time in this broken ship in one of China's reefs. And I will show you this broken ship. It's going to come into view there. See that broken ship? So this broken ship has been in the reef for decades now. And how did he get there? He got there because China got bombed by NATO in Belgrade. And while China was running around, trying to sort that issue out and trying to figure out, who bombed them, why they got bombed, and there was a major incident in China. People were focused on that. But while China was focused on that, Philippines sneakily got this boat and parked in one of China's reefs, and they've left it there for over 20 years. So this ship was illegal. So they kept saying all these years, oh, we'll move it, we'll move it, we'll move it, but they never moved it. They never moved it, guys. And then obviously China didn't want to force anything because China's been very, very restrained towards ASEAN countries because they don't want to be seen as the aggressor. They don't want to be seen as like the major power who's pushing smaller countries around and bullying countries. They don't want to be seen like that. So they're very, very reserved. And these Filipinos take it like weakness. They think China is really weak and they just keep trying it on. They keep trying it on. So this latest incident is basically, can you see these small Filipino ships? These boats, basically, these are fast boats. They intentionally attack the Chinese ship. Look, they go right close. See that? They go right close and they start doing it for the cameras. So they're obviously doing this for the camera, guys. They're not doing it for any other reason. And it's all for social media and clicks and things like that. And they're doing it because obviously Marcos Jr. tells them to do it, and then Americans tell Marcos to do it. So they're basically doing it for the Americans. There's a video, a meme going around like Filipinos are like monkeys. But I don't think all Filipinos are like this. I think most Filipinos are actually good people. I think most Filipinos know what America is doing. They know that, they don't like being puppets of America. I think a lot of Filipinos are against Marcos Jr. So I'm not talking about all Filipinos here. I'm just talking about these Filipinos here who are completely brainwashed and following ridiculous orders to antagonize China and start a fight with China. That's what they're doing. And China's been very, very reserved, as you can see with that disgusting ship at the back. They can easily blow that ship out the water. That's what Israel would have done. That's what America would have done. They are very lucky they are dealing with China here. Israel not only would blow up this ship, they would blow up half of Philippines as well. They'll drop bombs everywhere. They'll destroy the soldiers' families, kids, generations. That's what Israel would have done. So the Filipinos have been taking it as weakness by China, and they've been really taking advantage. And they've been becoming more and more brave by the day. I think what China should do, they should just smack them. I mean it, guys. They should just smack them. I think they should just blow up that ship or tow it and just dump in the middle of the ocean and let it sink. And I think they should teach these I'm not going to say monkeys, but I don't want to be racist, but you know, they should definitely teach them a lesson. I know I have some Filipino viewers, and a lot of them are my friends. I'm not talking about all Filipinos here. I'm just talking about these, you know, silly ones here that, you know, that obviously they're not thinking with their brains. They're just following ridiculous, silly orders from their boss. Absolutely ridiculous, guys. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. I do have a part 2 of this video on my new channel, so make sure you check that one out. I'm going to be talking in great detail about Chinese AI and the new AI that China has released. I'll be talking about that, and also the United States wants to ban it. I'll talk about you know, China's AI future and all of, and how does it compare with the United States, and also I'll talk about the CEO of this new AI company, Kimi, I believe he's called, and yeah, so make sure you check out part 2. This is going to be on my new channel. I'll release it sometime tomorrow. So take care for now, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.